or welcome back to A Game of Thrones. My name's Hannah, and this is the first round of my new TBR game, which I will be playing for the month of August. So I have the board here. It's nothing, it's nothing exciting, but you can see that it is basically snakes and ladders. So we all know how the snakes and ladders works. You go down the snakes, up the ladders. What I'm going to be doing is just grabbing my die, but ignore my hands. And what I'm going to be doing, because I know some people play it this way, if I land in the middle of a snake, I stay where I am. If I land in the middle of a ladder, I stay where I am. And I'm only going to be moving up or down if I land at the top or the bottom if it's a ladder. That makes sense, right? Okay, so basically what I'm going to be doing is I have my box of prompts here, and if anybody can think of any more prompts, please feel free to comment down below. You can also play along. So I have my prompts here. This is the Illumicrate Davabad inspired tea tin. So it just has my prompts. I have 2 die. I have my standard 6-sided die, which I'm going to be rolling to move along the board. And then in this pouch, I have my 20-sided die. And what I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm rolling this one to determine how many rolls I make. So if I roll a 1, I roll. If I roll a 1 on this, I only have 1 book on the table to read, so then I'll roll this one to move along the board and pick a prompt. That makes sense, right? It's not too difficult so far, but this is where it becomes fun. I'm not going to be doing it this round because that's unfair on myself. But you'll see on my TBR trolley just here, I keep a tally of the books I've bought against the books I've read. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to curb my book buying, like all of us. So for every book that I buy, I would move 1 step back on the board, and for every book that I read, I move 1 step forward. So if I was to read 11 books and buy 10, I would essentially be moving an extra step forward. But if I bought 12 books and only read 11, I would move 1 step back. That makes sense so far? Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to please feel free to play along at home with all the prompts. If you have books that fit the prompt, please let me know what they are down below. I'd love to hear what you're planning on and reading and how you interpret these prompts. So what I'll do is I'll roll this one first to find out how many times I need to roll this one, and then I'll do the rolls, pick up the prompts, and then come back to you with the books that I've chosen, because I'm terrible at editing, like we know. So that is a 17. Can you see? It was a 17. Honest. I didn't just pick that up. Alright, so I'm going to be rolling this die 17 times, and considering I'm just about to start book 18 for July, well, I say just, I'm about 100 pages in, I think that's doable. So we have our 17. We put that back in there just for now to keep it safe. Then I'll set up the board and come back to you when you can see me moving. Okay, so for my little counter, I'm using the Embot key from Illumicrate. It just makes me think of Bumblebee the Transformer. So we'll pop him there. So we have to roll 17 times. So that is a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, look up a prompt. We'll pick this one. Read the newest book on your TBR. That's prompt 1. And that is a 3. 1, 2, 3. Read a book on your Kindle or e-reader. I don't know why I'm showing you. My writing is terrible. It's a 1. Read a book that features a competition. That's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another 1. Read the highest rated book on your TBR. A 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read a book by your favourite author. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Read a book with mountains on the cover. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read a book written by a POC author. 3. 'Read a book with a dragon on the cover / in the title. I'm just going to have a quick count of how many we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. That was move 3, rule number 9. Read a book with a weapon in the title / on the cover, which is great because that's the majority of like all of my books. Oh. Runaway Die says 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Read a book you got because you heard good things about. 1. Read a book with sprayed edges. I'm going to do another count because I've lost count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we just missed the snake. This is roll number 12, prompt number 12. Read a book with a one-word title. We've rolled 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Read a book with snow in the title / snow or white on the cover. Was that roll 12? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 4 rolls left. That is a 3. 1, 2, 3. Read a book with a 4-star or higher Goodreads rating. That's a 1. Read the oldest book on your TBR. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read a book you think will be uplifting / comforting. And I'm going to do another count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the last roll is dun, 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 a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last prompt of the month is reading non-fiction. Right. So I'm going to come back to you once I've got those books. Okay, so I have my 17 books in a pile just by my feet. So we're going to dive right in, and what I'm going to do is once I've told you what prompt goes with what, I'll put it back in the tea tin so I don't lose it. So the first prompt of me picking these up, I should say, is read a book on your Kindle / e-reader. And I have my e-reader here. I have my Kindle Paperwhite, and I cannot remember what's on it anyway. I think I have the... oh no, I've read that one. Okay, so we have The Black Key by Amy Ewing. So I'll just read that this month. And that is the sequel to the Jewel trilogy. It's the finale. The Jewel is basically a dystopian where girls with this power can give birth, and they are chosen as surrogates, and it's not as simple as that because it never is. I have a lot of books to talk about, so I'm not going to go into depth with all of them, especially if I can't remember what they're about. Next one is read a book with mountains on the cover. So I'm going to be reading 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosse. Miriam is only 15 when she is sent to Kabul to marry Rashid. Nearly 2 decades later, a friendship grows between Miriam and a local teenager, Layla, as strong as the ties between mother and daughter. When the Taliban take over, life becomes a desperate struggle against starvation, brutality and fear. Yet love can move people to act in unexpected ways, lead them to overcome the most daunting obstacles with startling heroism. So, yep, I think I picked this one up from a charity shop. Then we have read a book with a dragon on the cover / in the title. So do I get bonus points for this one? This is Dragon Mountain by Katie and Kevin Sang. It has a dragon in the title and on the cover, and it also has the word mountain on the in the title as well. But I don't think that counts. So I'm going to be reading this, so we'll take the sticker off. So when 12-year-old Billy Chan's parents send him to summer camp in the mountains of China, he doesn't know what to expect. He'd much rather be spending the holidays back home than hanging out with total strangers at Camp Dragon. That's until he and his fellow campmates stumble upon the entrance to a secret mountain and find 4 real-life warrior dragons trapped inside. The dragons are fearsome, clever and dangerous, and they've been waiting for him. So cute little middle grade about dragons. So yeah. Then we have read the newest book on your TBR, self-explanatory. This is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I actually bought this just before I started filming this, so how much newer can you get? I actually bought 3, but this is the shortest. When it comes to drumming, Leah Burke is usually on the right beat, but real life is a little harder to manage. She loves to draw but is too self-conscious to show it, and she hasn't mustered the courage to tell her friends she's bisexual. Not even her openly gay BFF Simon. So Leah doesn't really know what to do when her rock-solid friendship group starts to fracture. With prom and college on the horizon, tensions are running high, and it's hard for Leah when the people she loves are fighting, especially when she realises she might love one of them more than she ever intended. So I believe this is set in the same universe as Simon vs. the Homo sapiens agenda, which I haven't read. I'm trying to branch out into not all fantasies, as you can tell. Next one, read the oldest book on your TBR, and this is Pawn by Amy Carter. Washington DC, 70 years after democracy has fallen, the number you're assigned by the government decrees your fate. 17-year-old Kitty Doe is struck as a 3, looked down upon by the higher ranks until a chance encounter gives her the opportunity to become a 6, VII, that's 6, isn't it? And join the most powerful family in the country. If she says yes, Kitty will be transformed into Lila Hart, Prime Minister's niece, who died under mysterious circumstances, as they do. As a member of the Hart family, she'll be famous, adored, especially by Layla's boyfriend Knox. But becoming part of a society's inner circle also means seeing its darkest secrets and learning a twisted game Kitty's only beginning to understand. I believe that this is a trilogy, but we'll have to see. I have a habit of picking up firsts in series and not reading them. Have we noticed? But anyway, we have an adult one here, and we know which prompt this is. Read a book with snow in the title / snow or white on the cover. So, The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, book 2 in the Mistborn trilogy, the first series. I can't tell you anything about this one because it is a sequel, but in this world we follow Vin, who is she's an Allomancer? No, she's a Mistborn. She can ingest all of the metals known to man to give her power, and she's recruited by Kelsia, another Mistborn, who has a plan to take over the Lord Ruler, because in this world the Chosen One failed and the big bad is in charge. And after the events of the Final Empire, the first book, I have been wanting a chance to read this, but it's so chunky. Okay, next we have read a book written by a POC author. So I picked up Ace of Shades by Farida Abike Emidi. I am so sorry if I butchered that. But this is basically Gossip Girl meets Pretty Little Liars, set in a dark academia setting. And I know Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte is raving about this book, so I picked it up, as you do. But it follows our talented musician Devon and head girl Chiamaka, who both have secrets. It's a rich place where money paves the hallways and students are never less than perfect. But an anonymous texter, Aces, is revealing secrets. So a bit of a thriller as well. So we're getting a mix here, methinks. Read a book with a 4-star or higher rating, higher Goodreads rating. We have A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Camera. This is the sequel to A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And to be honest, that's all you need. That's all I really needed to know. Our beauty character also has cerebral palsy, and I can't talk for that representation, but I did think it was sensitively done because I have a coordination disability and a learning condition that affects my body in the way that my brain and body don't talk to each other. Nowhere near as serious as cerebral palsy, so I can't talk for that bit, but I can talk for the frustration that Harper feels with her body when it doesn't do what she wants it to do. Then we have the next prompt. Read a book you think will be uplifting/comforting. Is there any other book that fulfills this prompt? This is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, and to be honest, all I know about this one is that it is a middle grade for adults. It's a hug in a book. Linus is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. He's 40, lives in a tiny house on his own with his devious cat and old records. He's summoned by extremely upper management and been told to travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous or not. And he decides if what's happening. So he meets Arthur, and I'm thinking that there is a love story between Arthur and Linus. Arthur is the guardian, gatekeeper, master of the orphanage. Couldn't think of the words there. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, so bear with me. We are nearly there. Read a book you heard because you heard good things about. To be honest, that could be all of these, but I picked up Raybearer by Jordan Ifweko. Tasari has always longed for the warmth of a family. She's raised in isolation by her mysterious, cunning and often absent mother, known only as the Lady. When Terasai comes of age, the Lady sends her to the capital of the Golden Empire of Aritza to be chosen as the Crown Prince. One of the Crown Prince's Council of 11. If she's picked, she'll be joined by the other council members through the Ray, a bond deeper than blood, but the Lady has other ideas, including a magical wish that Terasai is compelled to obey. Kill the Crown Prince once she gains his trust. Ooh, and I've heard that the friendships in this are what sell the book. Then we have another middle grade. I'm being clever with this, methinks. And it is read a book that features a competition. So we have Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend. So Morrigan Crow is cursed. She's destined to die on her 11th birthday, but as the clock strikes midnight, she's whisked away by a remarkable man named Jupiter North and taken to the secret city of Nevermore. She's invited to join the Wondrous Society, Mystery, Magic, Protection. She can all have them if she can pass 4 impossible trials using an exceptional talent, but she doesn't seem to have one, so we have that. The next prompt was read a book by your favourite author. Now, this one isn't so much a favourite author, but she's an auto-buy. That counts, right? Yeah, it counts. My rules. So this is Kate Moss' Citadel. It is classed as the same series as Labyrinth and Sepulchre, but I believe it follows different characters. Look at the flop on this massive chunker. So this one is set in 1942 in Nazi-occupied France. We follow Sandrine, who is a spirited and courageous 19-year-old, finds herself drawn into a resistance group in Corsican, codenamed Citadel. So they're all set in the same place, that's why. Resistance group made up of ordinary people who are prepared to risk everything for what is right, and then she meets Raoul. They discover a shared passion for the cause, for their homeland, and for each other. But in a world where the enemy now lies in every shadow, where neighbour informs on neighbour, where friends disappear without warning and often without trace, love can demand the highest price of all. I just love these books. They are quite chunky, but I find them quite easy to read. I think Labyrinth was the first adult book I ever read at the tender age of 16. So, read a book with a one-word title. Harklights by Tim Tilley. And this one has French flaps. It is a middle grade. Wick has always lived in the dark and dreadful Harklights match factory and orphanage, working tirelessly for greedy old Ma Bogey, dreams of escaping until one day a bird drops something impossible and magical at his feet, a tiny baby in an acorn cradle. At midnight chimes, Wick is visited by the Hobbs miniature protectors of the forest. Grateful for the kindness shown to their stolen child, they offer Wick the chance of a lifetime, escape from Harklights and begin a new life with them in the wilds. So I'm hoping this has a bit of mystery and magic to it. And whimsy, because we need a bit of whimsy in the world, don't we? Now the next prompt I did cheat at, because I don't have all of my TBR in Goodreads, and it was read the highest rated book on your TBR. So I just went with gut feeling that A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas would be quite high, because I know everybody loves it. This is a is it Beauty and the Beast or is it Little Red Riding Hood retelling? I'm not sure. But Feyre, I mean everybody knows this one, but this follows the story of Feyre, who kills a wolf who is a Fey in disguise, and she's taken prisoner by the High Fey Lord to for recompense, is that one? And I know she has some sisters who are a little bit, one of them is a little bit tricky, and yeah. So we go on to the hardbacks. I'm doing quite well. We have Read a Book with Sprayed Edges. The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow has the sprayed edges, and this follows the suffragette movement. In 1893, there's no such thing as witches. There used to be in the wild, dark days before the burning began, but now witching is nothing but tidy charms and nursery rhymes, and if one woman wants any measure of power, she must find it in the ballot box. And to be honest, that's all I needed to know. This was an Illumicrate book as well. Next one is this prompt. Read a book with a weapon in the title / on the cover. This is Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova, and it has a big ass knife on the front. This is the sequel to Incendiary, and this is the conclusion. It is only a duology, and it follows Renata, who has powers, and in this world she is hunted for that because she is what's known as a whisper. She can get into your brain and mess around with things. She can implant memories, take memories away. I think she can control you, but I'm not sure. But she was used as the executioner, and this gives me Spanish Inquisition vibes. That just gives me that sort of feel. She was used as an inquisitor by the palace until she escaped and joined the rebels. Because of her past and her power a little bit, the rebels don't entirely trust her. In the first book, her commander gets himself captured and she takes it upon herself to go and rescue him, but things aren't as they seem, and this is the conclusion and sequel. So we have one book left, and that is Read in Non-Fiction. So I went for Troy by Stephen Fry, and this is pretty much what it says on the tin. It is Stephen Fry's take on the Battle of Troy. Oh, pretty. And I think that's all I have to say on that one. So I'll pop these on my TBR trolley, which is looking a bit bedraggled now that I've had to take things off and put things on again. But that's all for this video. Comment down below any books that you're reading for this month, if you found this video helpful to help you find out to find some new books that you want to read in August, and and I'm always on the lookout for prompts and ideas that I can use to make Game of TBR better or more exciting. And I'll give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see this, talk about these, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!